Hello, and welcome to this week's study, which is on Jesus crucified and risen. The cross, of course, is so significant because it provides so many answers in the context of the great controversy. What does sin do? How does God react? How are we saved? What does this say about the nature and character of God? We see Jesus on the cross, and as he says, if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all to me. Every thinking being in the universe is drawn to God by Jesus' death on the cross. And yet, as Chuck Scriven wrote, without the resurrection, the cross is just another piece of bad news. For there were so many people who were crucified by the Romans. To go out and preach that Jesus was crucified, many people would say, well, we have somebody who's been crucified too. No, it is the resurrection that makes the cross meaningful because Jesus returned from the dead. You remember that Paul addressed this. In 1 Corinthians 15, he spoke to those who said, well, there is no resurrection from the dead. He says this, 1 Corinthians 15:12. Now, if the message declares that Christ has been raised from the dead, how is it that some of you say there's no resurrection of the dead? If there's no resurrection of the dead, then Christ hasn't been raised either. And if Christ isn't raised, then our message we share with you is pointless, and your trust in God is pointless too. That is the real essence of resurrection. It provides meaning to all that's gone before, and it provides the guarantee that there will be life beyond this one, which is what we're looking for. And of course, as Jesus dies and is resurrected, he does prove who he says he really is. So, in this week's study, I want you to think again, what does the cross actually mean? What does it tell me? What answers does it give? And when we think about the resurrection, again, what does this say about God? What does it say about how he cares for every being in his universe? And how does he care for you and for me? May God bless you as you study